Look who I found. I found Chris Santos and also Matthew de Kock to chat about Vodacom Durban July 2020 and also some various other aspects. Very exciting news coming from TabGold. Of course, a new app is to be launched in the next couple of days. Of course, on the soccer side of things are already firing. And that is a fantastic initiative that TabGold and their betting app have launched, something that is long overdue. And come Vodacom Durban July, will be full steam ahead. And as you open up the app, the first thing that it says is avoid the queues, avoid all the traffic online, and of course, some vouchers to be given away to some lucky subscribers on the app. But let's start off in the furthest point of the world that we got. Matt de Kock, great to see you. We've chatted a little bit. First things first, how's Australia? How are you doing?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's nice to see some familiar faces again. Yeah, I've been good. Just been struggling a bit with the whole lockdown situation. Made things a little frustrating, but otherwise, been making the best of the world of the pandemic as I can. Learned a lot so far. Yeah, but just feeling a little homesick, missing family and friends. But otherwise, Australia's pretty good.
Well, we're all missing you too. And then I've also got Chris Santos to join us as well. He's been quite instrumental behind the app and obviously an agent for quite a few jockeys and racing manager, actually quite a few roles that you fulfill, Chris. Vodacom Durban July 2020. It's finally here. Might be behind closed doors, but it's still the July.
I mean, I think we're all grateful that we can actually have a July this year. That's the first thing. And then secondly, to have the quality that we do. I said the other day that it's the best July I can remember, and Kat told me I said the same thing last year. So I think I just get excited this time of year every year, and that's that. So yeah, we got a good card, some very exciting runners, and I think we'll have a very, very good July.
Okay, well, we'll breeze through some of the earlier races. When we get into the graded races, we'll go into depth. And obviously, we'll promote some things that the TabGold betting app will be launching as the day goes on. Race number 1 on the card, which is roughly 11:30 Central Africa time, is the Hollywood Bets Kingsmead Stadium Pinnacle Stakes over 1,100 meters. No de Kock runners in race number 1, but I know there'll be some familiar names to Matt. But we'll start off with Chris. In the first race, lots of punters want to make money. Just with regard to the TabGold betting app, at the moment, no exotic bets available, but win place, exacta, trifecta, swingers, etc. They'll all be open, user-friendly, straight to the point, in and out. So using that TabGold app, Chris, what would you do in race number 1?
I think there's one horse that should be in the firing line, yeah, and that's Sing for Rafa. She ran an absolutely cracking race behind Celtic Sea, and also competed in the computer form sprint. So yeah, I think she's a standout from the draw. She'll go from the front. She's got tons of speed, and I think everyone will have to get on their bicycles to catch her on this poly track. She should be in the first 2, in my opinion. Horses I make dangers. There's 1 or 2 horses that I like at bigger prices that you could box in exactas or trifectas, and that is Shanty Man. If you look at his course record, he's had 8 runs at the course. And he's had, 5, 6, 7. He's only had 1 start out of those 8 that he hasn't been in the first 4. Grant van Niekerk gets the ride. It's his second run after a rest. He's previously won 2 when having a second run after rest. And I'd put him in the box exactas with a horse called Van Halen, Corne Species Charger. He was a high-class horse. He should be a big price, and he runs very well fresh. Those would be my 3 in the race. If you're looking for more horses for the quartet, you have to include Chimichurri Run. He's the class, but his draw might catch him out. And Marcus chose Buono. You've got to respect those 2.
Matt, I suppose if you can run head to Celtic Sea at grade 1 level, then you've got to be a big runner here, like Sing for Rafa did at Hollywood Bet Scottsville last time.
Yeah, it was an awesome run. I think it's going to be tough, though. She's a 3-year-old filly. She's got a big weight. So it's not easy against a horse like Chimichurri Run. I'm not too concerned about his draw. He's got a running on style. So first time on the poly track for him, I think. So I think he could enjoy that. And I make it just a 2-horse race between those 2.
I've got 1 lurker to throw into trifectas and quartets. Number 4, Donovia. I don't know if he can quite beat the likes of Chimichurri Run and Sing for Rafa, but I think Donovia will be in the first 4 in race number 1. Then we go on to race number 2. The KZN Yearling Sale Million over 1,300 meters for a gross stake of 1 million rand. Chris, I know that you and Gareth Van Zyl are good mates. Vernici at Gravel for the first time from that draw. What's the word on the street?
Let's just say Gareth's a lot more confident than I am. This race, time and time again, we've seen that the group horses don't always perform in this race. It can throw up a result. It's a race I love personally because of previous exploits with giving it some. And I think there's a couple of horses here that you have to include. My number one choice would be Winter Stories. Connections are very, very keen on this horse. He ran 4.5 lengths behind Mount Pleasant in the nursery. And initially, when I saw them take off the blinkers, I thought potentially they were concerned that he'd over-race and potentially not stay. But he's out of a Silvano mare, and if you go through his pedigree, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the mare actually performed at Oaks level. So yeah, I think he's at 8-1. Get those wins, get those places on the tote. And if you're looking to turn up the favourite, you have to put him in the quartet. Another horse I thought would go quite well was Wars of Dubrovnik. Last time, everything went wrong for him in the race, and he still came home running 23.7 in his last 400. Gavilarino, draw 3, I think is a massive runner. My problem with the filly Vernici, she is the class horse. She must have question marks about her staying, in my opinion, and she's got a bad draw. So if you're going to try beat the draw and go forward, she might not see out the trip. If you're going to sit at the back, she might not get a run. The race might be over before it starts for her. So yeah, I'll make this an extremely open race, and I think this quartet will pay. A horse like Native Tongue must also go in. He won very, very well on debut, burst through late, and he won a good race. There's a few in here that I don't think will stay, and that complicates things as they'll be falling back onto horses that are trying to finish.
Or as one of those horses you don't think will stay, number 12, Sweet Sensation, because I'm very keen on her.
100%. She's got a bad draw. I think she's potentially going to try beat the draw, and I think there's a lot of others that will too. So from that draw, I mean, last top class, but he's going to have to prove it to get into a good position. Yeah, I obviously booked the ride for Kellen in the fillies nursery on her, and she ran a very good race, running 4th in that company. We'll see. It's also her first time. Oh no, it's her second time around the bend. Sorry, I'm mistaken. But if she wins, it will be a very good win for me.
Okay, so that's race number 2. Obviously, with 2-year-olds and Matt having been in Australia for a while, I wouldn't know too much about the form. Let's go into race number 3 now, the Campanaggio 2200. And take note, this is when the app is really going to come to the party for this TabGold information app. You can follow us on social media, and also take note that vouchers will be given to the first 100 subscribers to the TabGold betting app. So you can follow the link on this chat that we're doing. And like I said, the first 100 will be in for 50 Rand betting vouchers to start. And obviously, we all need the help that we can get on Vodacom Durban July. There's so many opinions, so many betting options when we get to Gravel on Saturday. Right, so the Campanaggio 2200 off at 12.40. Matt, there are a few lines of form here with the cock runners that you would know about. Obviously, horses that some of your big guns have raced with in the past. Do you have any opinion on race number 3, the Campanaggio 2200? It is traditionally a very tricky race.
Yeah, and it seems that way again this time, Alistair. What I'd like to take note of watching this race before watching the July is the 3-year-olds running against the older horses, because I'm of the opinion that we're not sure exactly where they stand just yet. So it's going to be interesting to see the likes of Western Fort and Leopold running against the older horses, although a lot weaker. If they can go on and beat some of the older horses, then it might be a good sign for horses that got the green light in Shango later on in July. But like you said, once again, it's a very tricky race, and I think it's just a type of race you could run 20 times over and you probably get 19, 20 different results.
Chris, race number 3, where are you leaning? Well, let's not ask you for a winner unless you're strong on something. A betting option in race number 3, whether it's an exacta, trifecta, quartet, whatever it might be.
There is one horse that I'm actually quite strong on, and that would be the basis of my trifectas, quartets. I think Sovereign Spirit, he's got everything going for him here. Carrying 53 kilos, drawn to, everything went wrong in his last run from draw 12 out of 12, and he still flew home to get 3rd behind Capoeira, who runs in the July. Grant van Niekerk retains the ride. I think of the older horses, he has everything going his way. I would probably box exactas, quartets, trifectas. Him, I like. Another older horse in Pack Leader. I think this race could be actually called the Keegan DeMello 2200, because I think his record in the past couple of years has been sensational. I think he's won it 2 or 3 times. He's got a live chance, just a bad draw, and Pack Leader flew home last time in the same race as Sovereign Spirit. So those two would definitely be in for me. Of the 3-year-olds, as Matt has spoken about, Western Fort and Leopold, between the two of them, it's very hard to gauge who would be the better horse. Leopold in the Classic ran an absolute cracker. In the Derby, I don't believe he stayed. Western Fort, being closely linked with Paul Peter and Warren Kennedy, we've always thought he's a very nice horse, but we always thought he did want ground. This gravel track, in my opinion, might not suit him. So I'd slightly be leaning towards Leopold, but I'd put both of them in for your quartets and your trifectas. Lastly, Cat Daddy must go in. Lightweight, Glenn Cotson stable, firing. And the last horse that I'm iffy about is Tristful. He's very consistent, but he's never been the distance, and he's got a bad draw, which slightly worries me.
And of course, he has a reserve in the Vodacom Durban July. Right, race number 4, first leg of the pick 6. That's underway at 1:15 with the STV Gold Vase over 3,000 meters. And there's a cock-in mate here in the former number 10, Amanda, who's done plenty of racing. She's had a 3-year-old campaign where she's been seen quite a few times. And Matt, she's put on some very, very good performances and the odd stinker along the way. Is there any explanation there?
Yeah, I think we're just still trying to get on top of her. She's a young horse, but she's an out-and-out stayer, Ali. She's run one bad race. I think you being a little harsh, maybe. She ran last week in the Oaks. She was stuck on the fence and everyone was swooping. So she's a big galloping type. She can't really quicken up that well. But things haven't gone her way in that she went down the week before to Scottsville Racing, got abandoned. She had to stay a week down in Durban. So things haven't gone easy for her going into this race. She's going to need a lot of luck, but I'm interested to see how she goes over the 3,000 meters.
Chris, race number 4, what's your play?
I'm going to go the tried and tested Matt de Kock method in these races, and that is go for fillies. Factor 50. Beat by Imperial Ruby. It was a great win by Imperial Ruby. Sitting last, got home, got the bacon just. But there's a massive weight turnaround between Imperial Ruby and Factor 50. She carries 56, gets Gavin Arena, and I think she is a huge runner. This is the race that you get onto your TabGold betting app and you take the trifectas and the quartets. Factor 50, big runner. Got to put in number 7, Sunshine Silk. She also gets a massive weight turnaround, and on her day she's proven that she can outstay them all. She's another big runner in this race. As dark horses, I do like Wealthy. If you go back to last year, you ran 4th in this race. I think you'll run a very good race. You ran a nice race and finished 4th in the Lonsdale behind Marching On Together. And this in the Gold Cup must be his main aim for the season. I'd throw in Pomanda and I'd throw in Dynasty's Blossom, who ran 2nd in this race last year before going on to win the Gold Cup.
Okay, that's your situation for race number 4. Just a reminder that there will be further competitions at the TabGold betting app run as time goes on, with further vouchers to give away and lots of free bets that will be available as well. So that's all very exciting. And you can register now, and the app officially launches on Friday, and you get straight into the tote betting, which has been open since Monday. Race number 5 is the first of the 2-year-old features, the Zulu Kingdom Explorer Golden Slipper, a grade 2 over 1,400 meters, and all the talk was for the Sean Tarry runner here, Chris Caroluma, who's unbeaten. Is she the one to beat? She looks it, doesn't she?
Yeah, I've rated this filly from the start. Being involved in the entries, when you see Sean Tarry put a horse in and say on his other horses, scratch if Caroluma gets in, you must know she can run. And that she did on debut. She flew home, and she actually beat the cock horse Integrity, who was quite fancied that day. But Caroluma, when she kicked into gear, it was race over. She finished on that inside track as if it was a stand-side track and just blew past everything. I then did see, did see Kellen and Lyle, and I asked Lyle before last round just how good is she, because I really, really fancy this filly. I think they're going to have to be very good together. Quartets, I'd probably bank her for first and then fill in the places behind her. I see there's a lot of money for this horse, Meladimo. She could be anything. But Coraluma has put everything to bed so far. Meladimo's won once, and we'll have to see her improve from that. A horse I do like as a very big outside, and I think it will make the quartets pay, is Love Bomb. She flew home last time over the 1200 behind Vinici, and I think from draw 4, she should be a big runner in this. Those would be my 3 if I was boxing a trifecta, and if you were taking quartets, you would have to add in the likes of Jasmine, who now gets the blinkers, Sent by Destiny from the Candice Dawson stable, who won its last start in impressive fashion, gets Grant van Niekerk, and Candice's stats rating to Durban are very, very good. There's a lot of unexposed horses, and 2-year-old races always throw up upsets, but I would be shocked if Caroluma got beat.
I think that's the play for everybody. Caroluma first. I think Sent by Destiny can run the first 4, but as Chris says, there are a lot of unexposed runners here that could very well feature. Then we go on to race number 6, the Durban Golden Horseshoe, grade 2 over 1,400 metres. Matt, I'm going to start with you because obviously the de Kock team have got great success in this race. There's no Mike de Kock trained run in race number 6, but if you think back to the battle between Socrat and Barrahan a couple of years ago, if you were looking for the right profile of horse to win this type of race, what would you look for?
Yeah, it's always very tough. I think an interesting runner is definitely Sean Chase filly, throwing a little spanner in the works there. I think she's a smart filly. She's got a good draw. It's a tough one. I don't see any horses that are probably of Socrat and Barrahan's quality just yet, putting their hands up. But at this stage, I'll probably just be leaning towards Sean Chase filly.
Okay, so ecstatic green for Matt. So, Chris, what do you make of that? Because her last run was excellent.
I think she's a massive runner. Sean Terry likes running his fillies against the Colts. As 2-year-olds, Karen Ellis comes to mind, and she battered them. For me, I thought this was the hardest race on the card. There's a lot of horses unexposed, a lot of decent performers, but no standout as we have in the fillies race. Royal Exhibit is a horse that interested me. To run third from draw 11 behind Gold Season in the Gate Crasher was a cracking run. Now gets Gavin Arena drawn 2, must be a massive runner. Ecstatic Green has to go in. Ashford Castle was very, very impressive, and when you first look at him and see that he's by VAR, you might have doubts about stamina, but his damn Wild Ash was a stayer. He won the debut and got put away. I think this and the race on Gold Cup Day will be his main aim. And other horses, Corneli and Norbese, the 2 Futuras of Corne Species, they ran behind Mount Pleasant and Najim Sahel, which I know that the Cocks think are very, very nice horses. Subsequently, Najim Sahel's been exported, if I'm not mistaken, and Mount Pleasant, who won the nursery, Callan thinks is a very nice horse, and I mean, he's unbeaten.
Okay, so that's how things look in race number 6. It is a very, very tricky race. I give a lot of respect to Gold Season from the Ashley Fortune stable. Just listening to Andrew yesterday, he thinks that the son of Give Me the Green Light will run well. Then on to the big one, the Vodacom Durban July 2020, offered 3:10. And like Chris says, it does look to be one of the stronger Julys in a long time. It's not often that you get 4 weight for age grade 1 winners in a race. And, here we got Socrat, Rainbow Bridge, do it again, and also Vardy having done that already. Matt, Socrat, number 5 on the card. He's kind of snuck under the radar. I mean, I think this race was run 6 months ago. A lot of people will be talking up Socrat's chances as a lively contender.
Yeah, listen, things went a little pear-shaped. He ran a bad race in the Queen's Plate, so he wasn't himself. So we decided to throw him out on the farm in Cape Town. And then his first run back was in the horse Chestnut. He obviously needed that quite badly. He made significant improvement in the Champions Challenge. I mean, he finished behind Terra del Fuego in the horse Chestnut, and then improved to beat him in the Champions Challenge. And word from home is that he's improved again. So you're right. He's probably come under the radar a little bit. He's got the form to be right there. He's run short head to do it again. He's run short head to Rainbow Bridge. He stays 2,000 meters at Turfentine, so it shouldn't be a problem with the distance. He's got a great jaw. He's an easy ride. So a lot of good factors, a lot of good things in his favour. So we know we're hoping for the best.
Who is the horse to beat, though?
I think it's between the big dogs. I really think that the horses like Do It Again and Rainbow Bridge are the big dogs, the horses that are going to be the tough ones to beat. Vardy is a quality horse. I think in this bunch of horses, he's the best miler. I'm not sure he's the best 10 furlong plus horse. And then you got to look at horses like Snaith's, well-handicapped horses like Bulgarian and Bunker Hunt. They're pretty well-handicapped horses. I'm not sure about the 3-year-olds. I think these older horses are some of the best older horses we've seen for a while. And I would think it would take a really special 3-year-old to beat them. So probably the big guns and those well-handicapped horses are the 5 or 6 horses I think are the main runners.
To be honest, every year in the Vodacom Durban July, you get one horse running in the first 4 that makes the quartet pay an absolute fortune, Chris. This year, I'm battling to look beyond maybe 6 or 7 horses, and I think Matt's mentioned them all. Is there anything lurking around under the radar that might trouble these big guns or well-handicapped horses? Like, I know you were keen on Bunker Hunt. I'm keen on Twist of Fate, perhaps being that horse that can pop up at a bigger price. But is it going to be tough to beat these big dogs?
I think so. I don't see. I mean, the best value I saw in the race was Socrat. I think he's very underrated by a lot of people, given that he didn't perform in Cape Town. But I think his run behind the Walm last time was very, very good. And for me, I think that was the Walm's best performance in South Africa. I thought it was a sensational performance. Socrat did well to get within 3.5 lengths of him, in my opinion. And he wasn't 100% fit. He's, according to your dad, Matt, I've heard from a few different sources that he had another notch to go to after that race. I think he's a massive runner in this race, as is Rainbow Bridge. The only thing that puts me a little bit off Twist of Fate is that he would have to perform, in my opinion, in this race to a rating of about 132, 133, and I'm not sure he's up to that. He does get a bit of weight, but I'm not sure he's up to that. The Snaith horses must be respected. They are drawn wide. Bulgarian is definitely better than his rating, and he is certainly a runner. The Snaiths have played a masterstroke in getting him into this race off his rating, and it will be interesting to see how he goes. He's just got a bad draw to negotiate, and he'll have to do it again right next to him, also with a bad draw to negotiate. And if Do It Again does win this race, he must be considered one of the best horses in South Africa. I mean, he's already a champion, but this will take him to superstardom heights, in my opinion, if he can win this July. Bunker Hunt, as Ali said, I am a little bit keen on. He seems to be the dark horse from the Snaiths. Everything seems to be Bulgarian Do It Again for him, from what we're seeing on social media and so on. But this horse can turn it up. The past few days I've gone a little bit off him, just because, as I said, the same thing with Twist of Fate. He's going to have to run to a really high rating to beat this field, in my opinion. You might get 1 or 2 of the big guns that don't perform to their ratings, but I just feel that one of them is, and that's the one that's going to win. So it's a very tough race. Got the Green Out's a lovely horse, but we're really going to find out a lot about these 3-year-olds in this race.
Yeah, of course, there's a lot of play here. Do It Again to make history. The first 3-time Vodacom Durban July winner, potentially Bulgarian, of course, unbeaten since being gelded. So there's a lot going on. And then obviously the brothers, Golden Ducats and Rainbow Bridge. So many subplots. Let's go on to the next grade 1.
Ali, I just want to say something quick. I just want to say something in this race. This is the race that you want to catch exactas, trifectas, quartets, swingers. This is the race where you pull out your app and you take those bets. The pools are going to be huge, and this is where you catch the quartet. If you catch this quartet, even if it's the simplest quartet, it's going to pay a lot more just because of how big the pools will be on a day like this. So this is where you want to take those bets.
100% right. Well, we need to get a regular on for the last 3 races. So race 8, the Johnson Workwear Garden Province Stakes, 1,600 meters is the trip. Matt, let's start off with you. Celtic Sea Clouds Unfold. Do you make it just a 2-horse race, or is there something else lurking around?
I've studied hard, and I would like to see it a bit of a match race. I think it'll be very interesting. I do make it between the two of them. You know, I felt that Celtic Sea ran a good race in Cape Town in the Majorca, and you always got to remember that Clouds and Unfold was on her home turf. I think Celtic Sea is the better horse at Greyville, and I think I'll put her in front by a short head.
Okay. Chris, do you see it the same?
100% agree. 1600 meters at Greyville, I will have Celtic Sea. 1600 meters anywhere else in the country, I have question marks. Celtic Sea to beat Clouds Unfold, in my opinion, and I would box the quartet. Those two, I'd put Vistula in because she's going to get a nice run from the front. And for me, the Lurker Sleeping Single. I don't think we've seen the best of this. I think she's a Northern Hemisphere bred, if I'm not mistaken. We haven't seen the best of her, and she's still maturing. I think she's a very nice horse from the Snates.
Okay, and I'm not going to give up on In the Dance for Quartets either, because I think she's a lot better than her record suggests. Then on to race number 9, the Compendium Insurance Brokers Etigwini Sprint over 1,200 meters. First, let's start off with you. Golden Bell ran at the Vaal on Tuesday, and she absolutely trotted up. Masterstroke from Tarry, or are you a little bit worried?
I'm not sure. I mean, they seem to do it a lot in Australia, the UK, and backup horses. I'm not sure. I was a little bit baffled as to why she was running yesterday, in my opinion. I'll be very honest. But Sean Terry's won all the trainer championships. I've won 0. So, yeah, she must be a runner. She won very impressively yesterday, as did Gallic Princess. She won a very nice race and must be a runner. She won by 4 or 5 lengths on her first run for Candice Dawson. Battle of Trafalgar is another runner. He's won his last 2. He's going the right way, and I think he'll be a massive runner. And lastly, the other horse I want to touch on is Cartel Captain. He ran very, very well in a Group 1, although it was a handicap behind Warrior's Rest. And from draw 1, he must be a massive runner. Those are my 4. I'd box them and take the quartet.
100%. I can't see anything else. Matt, with regard to Battle of Trafalgar, I remember as a youngster, there was a little bit of hype about the son of Captain L, and now he's starting to show that he's on the right track.
Yeah, 3 runs as a gelding. He's run second, first. So he's seems like he's back on track. I think he's going to love the poly track, and a good draw is very important for him because it's quite a difficult ride. So he's definitely got a big chance.
Okay, so yeah, I think we touched on the base. There might be something else lurking around that does get into the top 4, but I think between the 4 that Chris has mentioned, they should fight it out. At least 3 of them will run into the first 4. And then on to the last race, the Hollywood Bets Tequila Handicap, listed over 1,600 meters. There's an interesting dynamic here because obviously Do It Again is looking for his 3rd Vodacom Durban. July Celtic Sea is looking for her 3rd Johnson Workwear Garden Province Stakes, and Infamous Fox is looking for his 3rd Tequila Handicap. Chris, Infamous Fox, can he do it again?
Well, Ellie, I think if you and I don't tip him, we're both going to get kicked out of the house. So we've got to go with Infamous Fox here. I mean, he's done it. He's proven. I was chatting to Matt before we started here, and Matt said we can leave him in the box for the rest of the season and just bring him out for this race every year. so yeah, I think he's going to be a massive runner, and his value at this stage, I'd definitely take the wins and the places on him. There are 1 or 2 horses in here that are proven, and there's 1 horse in here that's could be anything, and that's Tree Tumbo. His last run was very disappointing in the Daily News, but I think Terry holds his horse in high regard. The family aren't the biggest, well, which Matt will know the family quite well, but I think he's a runner. From draw 5, he must be a runner. Other horses to include in this, Orpheus, we've seen him do it on the poly at Greyville when he absolutely smashed him off the front, and he's going to go off the front and set a decent pace. Hopefully Infamous Fox can just tuck in behind and get a perfect run through. Crown Towers must go in, and the other horse is Hoodoo Magic. Marcus has stuck with this horse on his last 3 runs, and although Approach Control, who's from the Dawson stable, ran ahead of him last time on the poly, and we believe Infamous Fox is better, Marcus and the Crawford yard must think something of this horse. So he would be a massive runner for me too. The last horse I do want to throw in here is Gigi's Dynasty, another horse from the Crawford stable. His last run wasn't too good in the Cup trial, but his course and distance, his course form is very good, and his distance form is very good. I think he'll be a big runner under Donovan, who's had one ride on him and has won. So those would be my horses in the last. Could be the lucky last. Boxer Swingers, try it out.
Okay, so I think that's pretty much a wrap of the 10-race program. Don't forget, with regard to the TabGold betting app, you can open an account. It's user-friendly. It's perfect for the youngsters. All the information you need is in one place. It's all there. It's something that's long overdue. As mentioned, lots of exciting initiatives coming up from the TabGold betting app, and open an account. Lots of vouchers to give away. Matt, thank you for your time. I know it's late at night in Australia, and I know that you've become an even earlier bird than you were here. So sleep tight, and great catching up, and looking forward to catching up again soon.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's a sore point that I'm not going to be there on Saturday or be around to watch the racing, but I hope everyone has a good day and punts many winners, especially on the new app. Really exciting. Well done, guys. And nice to see some familiar faces. Keep well, guys.
Absolutely. And Chris, thanks so much for setting this up, for getting Matt and I on board, and well done for your hard work for the app. You and Wes Gordon.
Yeah, I mean, I was just asked if I'd be interested in trying to get some promotion for the app, and I think it's something that's been needed for a long time in South African racing. Yeah, lastly, I just want to say, Matt, you said Matt should sleep tight. I'm sure he will. He's been telling me about some of the trips he's been having. And if you ask Mark de Kock, he says that Matt's finally finding out what work is. So yeah, no, get on the app. Get your bet on. We got nice promotions, and yeah, we think the app's here to stay, and it's the future of trade betting in South Africa.
Well, Africa's greatest race day is here. It's behind closed doors. Big thanks to Matt de Kock and Chris Santos. Hopefully, we've tipped you some winners.